Hello, Mantua Township. Mayor Bob Zimmerman here with Mayor Message number 22. I'm here with my friend Ashley Levinson, a longtime resident of Mantua Township, went to Clearview High School, lives in Mantua Township now with her family. Ashley is here with me today to talk about some of her personal experiences and some of her endeavors moving forward relative to PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, and breast cancer. So without further ado, I want to introduce Ashley, and I would just ask her if she could tell us a little bit about PCOS, what it is, and how it's affected her in her life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk about this condition because it affects so many people, up to 20% worldwide, or 1 in 5, but it's estimated 50 to 75% of these people have no idea that they have this condition. So whenever I have an opportunity to spread light on it, it's great. So PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, from the name you would think that it was a reproductive or ovarian condition, but it is actually an endocrine condition, which means it affects somebody reproductively, hormonally, metabolically, and also affects them psychologically. There are a host of symptoms that someone can have, ranging from acne, excess facial hair loss, infertility, weight gain, but most people think they're just normal symptoms because PCOS can be a collection of symptoms. You can have 1 or you can have 10. It varies in severity from person to person, and symptoms vary from person to person. It can go undiagnosed, and if it goes undiagnosed, can create other conditions such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. So it's really important for people to be able to identify this condition and get the help that they need as early as possible.
When were you diagnosed with PCOS, and what symptoms did you encounter that brought this to light? And then how did you follow up to obtain the final diagnosis?
PCOS is really difficult to diagnose, and at the time, I was 13 years old. I started experiencing irregular menstrual cycles, weight gain, acne, but most doctors would say that that's just part of growing up. So it was missed for a long time. I was put on medications to help regulate everything, and there was no further conversation about, what it could be or why I was having all of these issues. So I stayed on the medications, and then finally I got married, and I got to the point where my husband said, "Let's start a family." And I said, wonderful. So I went off the medications, and within a 3-month period, I had put on close to 100 pounds. Wow. I was losing hair on my head, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I went to probably about 7 doctors, and I got everything from stress eating because I'm trying to get pregnant and it's not happening, to you're not sleeping enough, you need a dietitian because you're not eating the right foods. Mm-hmm. Nobody could give me a concrete answer as to what was going on. Eventually I saw one more doctor. I told him my story. He walked out, grabbed a textbook, came back in, opened it, and said, "This is what I think you had." And at that moment, 4 letters was going to define the rest of my health journey, which was PCOS.
So September 1st is PCOS Day, and the month of September is PCOS Month. What we're going to do here in Mantua on September 9th, we're going to present you with a township proclamation. And the next thing we want to talk about is October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is another big thing for you. And boy, you have a really enlightening story that I want to have an opportunity to tell our residents about. October 5th through October 12th is Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. And we have some things lined up here in Mantua, starting with the opening ceremony on October 5th, Saturday at Chestnut Branch Park.
Absolutely. So I'm working with the American Cancer Society. The division is called Making Strides for Breast Cancer of Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey. What we are going to do is hold a kickoff event at Chestnut Branch Park. This is going to run in conjunction with businesses and restaurants throughout Mantua and New Jersey to highlight them and to also highlight breast cancer cancer and the need for more awareness and fundraising. So we're going to ask these businesses to hold fundraisers and to donate a portion of their proceeds from the week back to the American Cancer Society and Making Strides. The event that we're going to have is going to be a kickoff party on October 5th. We're going to have speakers. We are going to have tables with information from the county, from businesses, from organizations. And we're also going to have a mini pink walk where we're going to encourage residents to come out and walk the loop at Chestnut Branch and put on their best pink.
I'm really looking forward to that. And like I had touched on earlier, your story is really inspirational, and I think it really will send a message loud and clear. Can you tell our residents what happened just last year, 2023, and how it brought you to where you are today?
Basically, I did my due diligence and I did my annual mammogram. They said, oh, everything looks good, you're fine, and you're good to go. And like you, I said, okay, I'm ready to go. Another year, I don't have to worry about it. So after the mammogram, I had a lot of skin changes, and there was really no physical evidence as to why I would have those skin changes. Another week went by and I felt a lump, and it was different than I had ever felt before. So I went back to my doctor and I told her what was going on, and she said, I don't think it's anything, it's probably a cyst, but you know what, let's send you back. I know you just had a mammogram, but let's do it again. Went back for the mammogram, and on the mammogram they saw something, and then they said, we want to do an ultrasound. And they did the ultrasound and they said, this isn't looking right, it looks like it's suspicious for cancer. And I'm going, well, okay. So they sent me for a biopsy. They did the biopsy, and within 24 hours I got the call that no one wants to receive, which is, I have cancer. Immediately I just started moving forward with researching and doing what I needed to do. And fortunately, right in our backyard was Inspira, and best choice that I made. And they got me through things, and now I can say I'm cancer free.
To kind of sum things up, I want to thank you for being on the mayor's message this time around, and for telling your story. We've always been advocates for those within our community and have been very supportive of those that are fighting various illnesses and diseases. And I don't think we've ever had anybody as a spokesperson for breast cancer. And I do feel very strongly that getting a message out to let people know, in your case, about your story and how quickly this can materialize, and how important it is to follow up and get the help that you need to get to a point where you're at today, where you're cured. We will be doing a proclamation for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We will do that at the opening ceremony as well. That will present to you, myself and the township committee members that will be able to get there. So again, thank you for being on the program. I just want to thank our residents for watching. As always, I look forward to our continuous service with honesty, integrity, and trustful leadership. Thank you.